Briggs. And for this broadcast. Jeez. Tonight's work. Some people might know I have a job at Kmart. I work at make like $1.75 an hour. And they can always take taxes out of that. So yeah, but I work there because I love the hours. So I love the hours, so that's why I do it. So I bring my work from, my cats are up here. They work there too. So they were just tearing the place apart. Of course, they got quiet recently. So, long day, man. Nothing works. Technology. I had to bring my work from home. Oh, there's worker right there. Kmart shopper right there. Yeah, nothing's working out. It's just technology has just got one was like it got one glitch after the other. So yeah, there she is. Yeah, let's take a load off. So yeah, normally they'll make an appearance. That's Fritzy, if you're wondering who that is. So enough of that rant. Whatever that was. So this timeline breaks, beings of light, and Pleiadian Nordics, and Zeta gray channel is basically tall blondes are going to come through. I felt them yesterday. I don't bring them through very often. I'm going to Zetas. Feels like that's what they want to talk about. So there's Fritzy right there. Yeah, it's gonna be a long weekend, that's for sure. So for timeline breaks, I've been since 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got a long day tomorrow. Just I don't know if my mine's gonna be able to handle it, but I guess we'll figure something out. Timeline breaks is, of course, I'll bring a being for that. Get maybe a different aspect of it. It's basically where you think things are going to go, where you have, and I like you work for a job and it goes for a while and then you get laid off. You think things are going to go where it might go, or who knows, or you see a possible timeline and it kind of disintegrates right in your face. So it's yeah, it's like possible timelines. Of course, people have choices, things like that. It just, especially when you become more connected to the ether, the astral realms, you can see things a little more clearly. So like some people see like a future of us going like into complete damnation. There might be a timeline break where that was possibly going to happen, like 9/11, but then we had switch arounds when we avoided it. So just bringing that up, because when you think things are going to go a certain way, like if you're living at a certain place and then you get kicked out, that's another like a timeline break, you can say. So it's just another way, it's usually if somebody else is involved with it normally, or you're getting kicked out of it, or it's never supposed to be happening to begin with, but still, who knows? Like I've been at my job for forever, and that's still going on. Since 2005. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Jeez. I don't think I've learned anything. Well, maybe I have, actually. So that's a concept of timeline breaks. Of course, there's probably more detail into it. Let's see if we can bring another energy in. So, beings of light. Of course, I keep mentioning. I've been up since 5 o'clock, so we're not operating too well here. That was yesterday and today. Beings of light. Now, this is a fact. I didn't see this before. I mean, I've seen concepts of this, but so if you want to be at a high vibration, you don't want to have problems. You want life to be, problem free, which is fine. But I feel like some of those depends on the being or person, whatever. Like you get to a certain vibration and just stay there. But the concept I was given was like it's like that person becomes like a light bulb or Christmas lights, or it's like you're just light and that's it. You're not here to, I mean, you can be high vibration and not evolve. Those that want to evolve go through a lot of hell. They test themselves to death, they beat the crap out of themselves or whatever. And that's really when you shake yourself up. But there's other beings that just don't want to do that. They just want to be a higher vibrational being, and you're just a light source, and it's not like you're going into source, but I guess you can it's kind of like going into source, but not really, but you're kind of going to your own source energy. You just want to be you just want to have a good time all the time and just sit there and not evolve. So you live lives like this one, well, like what I'm living, example, with my Kmart shopper cats. Um, yeah, you go through a lot of stuff. You expand yourself maybe too much. You wonder what you're getting out of it. That's another story. But if you're just a light being, you just want to, hear all this talk about high vibration all through, through the spiritual communities. But what does that mean exactly? So you're just gonna be a high vibrational being and just sit there and just be a glow light for the rest of your life, which is fine. But just don't expect to grow very much with that. So, and I guess after a while they flicker out, or who knows what happens to them. It's just interesting to see that some people that just want the comfortable life, where they can get to a level of just being energy and that's it. It's like I believe it also with that you lose personality. You lose a lot of your stuff. I mean, that's another reason why this world has been created, is to help you remember, the little things of life. So, just when you're a high vibrational being and you're just sitting there doing nothing, you live in the good life for a long time. Somebody has to kick you around and get you to evolve a little bit. But that's up to you. You don't have to. I imagine you can be a higher vibrational being and just be there, not evolving for a very long time. But I think you lose some stuff after a while because you have it so good. You don't have a personality anymore. You become more plain. You become not as funny as you were, because if you come into Psychoville, you gain a sense of humor as you're going completely insane. So just putting that out there of at least that's concepts I've connected to recently. That's been it's just interesting to see that some beings that just want everything to be positive and perfect or decent, and they're just kind of stagnant and just sit there. So the way you keep yourself evolving, you got to shake things up a little bit. You can't just have everything. I mean, this world obviously is the extreme of screwed up. But so you come, yeah, it's interesting. Beings come here to want to live a perfect life here, or a good life here, and I don't know. It's almost like they're going backwards, but they don't see it that way. As long as they get what they want in life, and they're not really expanding. So this is that's of course a point of view. You might not agree with that, but you'd be surprised how. So I can't wait to be high vibration and not grow anymore. I just want to be happy, just flitter in the air, and that's it. It's like more power to you on that. Nobody's stopping you. But Planet Chaos, some of us are in Chaosville. The door is always open. Trust me, it just does not shut, apparently. Okay, going to Pleiadian energies and maybe Mother Earth. If I'm feeling it's kind of up in the air at this time. So we'll probably go into some of these concepts again. So, Greetings. This is Nathaniel. For the Pleiadians, it's all bonds. Most of our ships are around your mountain areas. Yes, Mount Adams is one of them. Shasta, at times, we're usually actually around your oceans for the most part. There's a lot of downloads or a lot of beings connect to your ocean or enter into your Earth through the ocean portals. Yes, and of course, the water is where a lot of your change occurs. And our concept of your human collective of what you're going through at this time is just releasing what you no longer need. A major soul release of just what is most important at this time. Not that your government is ready to do that same, not just yet. We do see it a future time eventually calming its manipulation. Right now they're having a blast. It's like your government is like so drunk and out of control. It doesn't even care if it destroys itself at this point. I mean, it'd be like it's laughing all the way to the bank, the way it's acting at this time. Of course, you never hear them say that publicly, but behind the scenes, yes. And there is a lot of laughter towards society, of course. Yes, it's like a teenager, a drinking, party going on, but using people or society as for gags, screwing around with rules and things like that. I kind of like a college frat party without the college part, or just a frat party where they just completely lost their minds. There is some level of sanity, but that's actually more of your shadow governments, where they are actually more calm, tame, and actually care about people. Of course, yes, they do manipulate society. Be surprised how you can connect to a secret government and actually feel at home. I mean, yeah, they'll tell you your whole life story. You might not want to hear it. Yes, they might spy on everyone that you know, but at least they're open about it. They still act like you're their best friend, or they're your best friend. Like welcome to dinner or something like that, and just spill it all out. So those are kind of conversations I believe some of you are actually looking for, meaning the deeper end of reality. What is happening here? Like going to a dinner party and seeing and have a conversation about alien energies and shadow government movement here, and allow more of that knowledge to be, freely brought up about. And there's a lot of reluctancy at this time. Well, because your elite feel like your human race is still infantile at times. It wants to be taken care of a lot, like an infant, even those that are adult. Um, Obviously, it's not the full population, but that is a portion of it. Of course, there's been a lot of manipulations into that. Why humanity wants to be taken care of. Well, that area comes from reptilians. Their push for humans to just rely on somebody else, rely on the parent. Don't worry, we'll take care of you. And that is pretty much your elitist energy here, of course. They want to, yes, knock the human down so much, even give it college, which is more like a false education where you want to get down to it. Just so you can be part, you can sit in the bed of this reality, of control reality, in a holographic reality that many of you are just told in a very manipulative way how this is playing out. Another reason why some of you are having difficulty seeing into the future, obviously much of it is blocked, but the holographic, you're not always connecting to the holographic timelines. Your reality, that's a holographic timeline connected to the future. So obviously some of it's made on the fly, but not all of it. Earth changes, I believe at this time, are very calm for the moment, but the next 10 years could be quite adventurous. Right now, your political climate is the biggest thing because they're showing their true colors, It is very draconian. It's actually very vampire. It's vampire families, which are of course not showing themselves. Even vampire families stay cloaked. But you're also connected to the energies of Jupiter, meaning of great change. You're not seeing actually the planet combined with your Earth's vibration. But it's like the Jupiter energies is basically you're just going to a whole nother version of Earth. You might not come connecting to the new Earth that you're expecting, but you are connecting to a teardown of low vibrations. Now, of course, government's going to show its true face, and some of you, yes, might see reptilian beings within these certain individuals, possibly. Just expect a lot of the old timelines starting to break apart. And we're not necessarily the new Earth, but, well, fragments of the future are going to reveal themselves. The Zeta gray energies that are here are, yes, shifting timelines, but they're healing themselves at this time. The Zetas are. Well, as humans evolve, they evolve. As humans are removing the manipulations, the Zetas clear their own energy fields because they look upon humans as a parent. Oh, as family. So if family approves, they approve. They improve themselves on different levels, on their own level. So maybe we don't have to be bad so much. Because be surprised you have a family member that's going crazy and you have a Zeta doing the same thing, causing trouble for your family, which gets that family member to act even more crazy. It's like you have a family member that's nuts and you have a Zeta that's nuts, and they're kind of like collaborating with each other. But you don't see the Zetas. Well, it's soul, once again, soul growth for them. It's not within all families, of course, but it's out there. Now, there are a lot of reptilian families that incarnated here. They can't figure out why they have the chaos of their family. Why is this happening? Why is that? Because they come from a reptilian bloodline and not even know it. Of course, they're in human form because they're there to heal that reptilian feline or reptilian bloodline. It's just chaos in the family. You have nothing but chaos, most likely comes from a reptilian bloodline from another world where you're already. Some of them have been royalty. There's a lot of royalty that's here. And some of you might even see that, even if it's an average person, but they are very prestigious and very arrogant. Most likely, they came from a royalty timeline before here, or royalty planet. So yes, little by little details will come through of why humanity is the way it is. Of course, I'm not going to just unload it onto you just too clearly. Then you have to figure things out piece by piece because it can become overwhelming. And the fourth dimension is more easier to tap into, but we're raised to handle it. Your world is far from it. You're raised to not know anything. But little by little, these little concepts are helping you heal this reality. And more knowledge that comes in, the third dimension will start to deteriorate. It's already deteriorated, but not in its full form. Well, when third dimension starts to break down, you'll see more ships everywhere. You don't have to go to a mountain to see a ship. You can go anywhere. You go to your local convenience store and see a ship. Well, at that time, you'll probably see alien beings too come and go. Alien beings like to go to convenience stores because that's where all the action is. They might go to a retailer like Walmart, but convenience stores are smaller and less likely for them to be noticed. Of course, the alien beings aren't going to show up as aliens; they become as humans, but just not many people are people watching at a convenience store. They're just going in and out. Greetings. You guys, the Zetas. We're not architects of your reality, but we are children of your world. Forgotten. We are usually around primitive humans. Much of it was in Africa in your past. Of course, there are South Americans that have seen us, where we bring technologies, concepts, portals for other beings to connect to you. Yes, to bring DNA to continue to add to your DNA to enhance the human. Well, for our benefit, not always yours. That's another reason why there's a lot of handicapped beings here or mentally ill. A lot of that is connected to the Zetas due to our disruption in some of your DNA, due to abductions. So it might not be you might not have been abducted. That those that have had mental problems, but in your family line, it affected you eventually. Well, because there's new technologies put into the human throughout your ancestry. Now that was a lot of it was to monitor, but also to bring slight enhancements. That didn't always work out so well. And also we work with the teeth. So some people with bad teeth, some of that is our doing. Not that we're trying to ruin your teeth or anything like that. Just little concepts. Basically, mental illness, a lot of it comes from the Zetas. It was a major chemical imbalance. Not all of it, but quite a few of it. Once again, it's due to abductions, but also just our experimentation on so many different levels of improving, but trying to understand what kind of DNA, because all of you don't all have the same type of DNA, as you know. And so we're trying to extract certain DNA. It doesn't always work so well in our favor. Zetas have also tried to become humans like you and failed miserably. And we can't handle the emotions. There are worlds where concepts like you exist, where Zetas are human, basically. But here, for a Zeta to become a human, it's pretty much impossible. Our eyes are so much different, our body chemistry, of course, but we're still trying. Well, a lot of Zetas want to become a little bit more complicated as a beings. We're very simplistic beings when it comes down to it. Simplistic beings that can, yes, create an atom bomb out of nothing, basically. Well, we'll find the concepts very easily, and we are mostly known for as scientific beings. Not all Zetas are scientific beings, but most are. And some of your diseases have to do with us, but not entirely. A lot of it is from the reptilians, the Dracos, due to their interference with Earth's energy. Some of it has to do with abductions. It has actually more to do with reptilians consuming humans, and just their body energy. Yes, there's a lot of details with that. Well, reptilians are trying to make their own humans here, uh, their own version of human, and that's where disease comes from. Some of your diseases, some of your black plague came from that. Of course, some might disagree with that. Reptilian beings basically, yeah, is having relationships with humans. It doesn't always go so well. It still happens though. A lot of it's more in human form. Yeah, your aggressive males, they usually get a lot of female energies around them. A lot of them are reptilian beings. They use a lot of mind control, as you can see. Usually the lonely guy is usually the Zeta, the male. No friends, just a computer if he's lucky. And maybe a few contacts on his phone. So, greetings to you. We are beings from Anchor Wat. Your timeline breaks. Well, you are given certain freedoms here. You change timelines. Not everyone has that. A lot of it is with the female, but not entirely. Well, some beings are given more power than others. When they incarnate here, doesn't mean they always make the best decisions. And some of them are, yes, from royalty timelines. So if you come from a royalty reality, either from yours or from another planet, many of them have more power here, if you have not noticed already. Why is the queen the queen? Why are CEOs the CEO? It doesn't mean they know anything. But they do come from timelines where there's a royalty bloodline. It doesn't always have to be here. So the timeline breaks. It's the person with the power. They're used to having royalty, everything, and they just disrupt lives. And a lot of times they're never happy. They just disrupt life, just one life after the other, disrupt. And then you wonder all this karma comes back to them. They have not quite figured out themselves. They're still lost. And some of you are here with the answers, but they're not ready to hear your answer. So they'd rather cut you off or shut you down to hear what you have to say. Because you can actually get close to it. Even if you're not intuitively aware, you can still connect to where they came from. For light beings, there are some beings that just prefer to be, yes, a power energy, and that's it. Well, it just they want to always feel joy and happiness. They don't want to know what misery and hell is. They just don't want it. So they go to a place where they can just sit there, sustain themselves. Does that break down? It depends on the, yes, it can eventually. Well, because they lack experience, because they connect to other light beings, and they're all kind of the same. So they're not really evolving. They're evolving. They are evolving a little bit, but when you're around those that are at the same vibration, there's not much you can learn from that. Now, if you're coming from a lower vibration, you can shake up the higher vibrations, but then they move up. I don't want change. So you wonder why some of you can't connect to certain beings, or why is this not working? It's because you're here to bring change, and some just don't want it. It's like, even if their direction might not always be the best, or for them to evolve, because you wonder why certain situations. I'm not going to go into full details of what that means, but we're just keeping it general. But you wonder why you're not experiencing the timeline that you thought you were going to experience, is because the other person is not interested, or whatever it might be in those situations. Now, for layoffs and just people losing their jobs, a lot of times it's just like you've had enough of that job. You fired yourself, even if someone else fired you. You might not think you fired yourself. That happens a lot. Not always a bad thing. Difficult, yes. But that means you're going on to a new timeline, to bigger and better things. Of course, it's not always seen that way in the beginning, of course. But especially when you're so used to the whole timeline. That's all we have.